Welcome back to the FrugalBC live stream. Welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing good out there. Boy, do we have a great show for you today. Just so much cool stuff going on, and it's all. We're gonna lay that all out today. But boy, just having a great time. Otherwise, interesting weekend. Found a really interesting YouTube channel called Caleb Hammer. So what Caleb does is he does these financial audits where he brings people on the show almost like podcast style, and he just digs through their finances and shows them all the places where they're being stupid and where they can improve. And what's really great about Caleb, this is Caleb Hammer, by the way. Caleb goes he empathizes, so he really wants to help people, but he also has like no filter, and he's like a hardcore finance guy, and he has no problem telling people that they're being stupid. It's just one of the best shows on YouTube. I really love it. So big shout out to Caleb Hammer. If you want to go watch people just get eviscerated from their finances, one of the best YouTubers doing it today. Go watch him. It's good stuff. So I just wanted to give him a shout out because I've just been hooked on his content since like 2 days ago when I found it. But man, enough about that. We got a great show for you today. I'm just going to go through all the headlines that we're going to cover. First off, one Worldcoin to rule them all. That's right, Sam Altman of OpenAI fame has a crypto project that will send you crypto in exchange for, what is it? Scanning your retina. Yeah, it sounds a little creepy, dude. We're gonna talk all about that. We're gonna go through all the creepy stuff he wants to do. I love ChatGPT, by the way, so I'm not hating on ChatGPT, but yikes. Algomint, which is an Algorand project that helps users bridge over BTC and ETH to the Algorand blockchain. It just announced its first Algomint buyback. This is a huge sign. A very good sign in otherwise difficult markets, so we'll dig into that story. And some bad news for DeFi fans. According to a new blistering report from Blockworks, 75% of DeFi projects funded in 2021 failed to deliver a viable project to mainnet. And the numbers get worse from there. So we will look at that report because it's pretty interesting. And who's that whale? Well, a mysterious Algorand whale we've been talking about. We think we know who it is. That's right. There's a set of online sleuths. I still screwed that word up. I was practicing that word before the live stream. Still screwed it up. I just can't say that word without butchering it. Anyway, a couple of online detectives, let's say, they think they know who the whale is. We're going to talk about it on today's show, so stay tuned for that. And this one's big for This one's really big for Algorand. Self-custodial exchange C3 announced that Algorand will be the settlement layer for the entire platform. I think this is going to be a huge win for Algorand, so we will dig into that story. Good news for Cardano, Avalanche, and Ethereum fans. These three chains lead the layer ones in quarter over quarter growth. Wow, I'm really stumbling on words today. Of TVL, DEX volume, and stablecoin market cap. This is from crypto research firm Masari. By the way, Hedera fans are not leaving you out because Hedera growth and revenue is crushing it. Big numbers for quarter over quarter and especially year over year. So we will dig into that full report, talk about both of those. And this one just kind of came in late. Polygon, chosen by Bank of Italy, along with an infrastructure provider called Fireblocks, to work on implementing token and DeFi experiments for the Bank of Italy. So that's a big deal. That comes via CoinDesk. We will dig through all that. I think that is really fascinating. And not only that, we are going to talk Lofty AI. I did some research and kind of want to do an update on my thoughts on Lofty AI, my review. I've been using this for well over a year now, and I don't think everything's great with it. So we'll dig into that. Let's see how everyone is doing today. Got some viewers. Good. I hope you're all doing well. By the way, we are trying to get this channel to 3,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed yet, I would really love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. Now, as I always say, you don't have to smash it. You just press it nice and gently. And like button, of course, is appreciated. So if you guys are watching, let's get those likes up and get those up. If you're watching on Kick, appreciate you guys. Feel free to leave a chat or a little sticker thingy or whatever. Always appreciate that. And of course, super chats, always appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for everyone who's done all of those things, who's helped out the channel. Any support you can give the channel would be great, but especially really want to get those subscriber numbers up. Really like to get to 3,000 and beyond. So thanks so much, guys. And let's see. Oh, one other thing. I have a new Substack, and if you guys want to see and get like a glimpse of this ahead of time, all the stuff I talk about on my live stream comes out a day early on Substack. That is FrugalBC.substack.com. Link is in the description. It is absolutely free right now, so please subscribe. I'd love to have you on there. And you'll probably get, eventually there'll be some stuff on there that you won't be able to get anywhere else, but I really appreciate that. And Patrick, what is up, man? Yep, Lofty, I can't wait to get that Lofty one as well. We will be getting to that. But first, let's get into some crypto prices. And as much as it's like the worst thing I should probably say on a live stream, I think this is going to be boring. Fear and Greed Index sitting at 52. So just kind of neutral. I think it was a little bit higher earlier, but not much different. I mean, Bitcoin's just been flat, sitting around that $29,000 level. Yeah, look at this. I mean, not much happened. Dogecoin up a little bit. Otherwise, everything is flat. Tron is down. Litecoin up a little bit. Kind of crazy. Polygon dropped a lot, and that's kind of a surprise with all that good news. I mean, the partnership with Bank of Italy, I would have thought would have shot it up. Shiba Inu up 10%. That's like the only one in double digits that I've seen so far, down or up. And someone commented about Bitcoin Cash. I see it's popped up a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, flat. Toncoin. I hope you guys aren't Toncoin fans. That one's down. Oh, Uniswap is up 12%. Yeah, really interesting. Almost everything is super flat, and then a handful of them like really pumped or went the other way. Internet Computer Protocol. Okay, I see ya. They're just kind of holding steady. Mantle. Where'd that one come from? I haven't seen that. That wasn't in the top 50 last week that I knew of. Yeah, a little down. Blah blah blah. Just not much interesting. Oh, what happened to Near? Oh my gosh, Near fell down to 40. It's at $1.37. Down about 1% on the week, but yeah, look at that market cap. That's a bummer. Whereas Maker is actually up 15%. Wow. Algorand just holding price, which is about average from what we're seeing. So, Avi went down a lot around it. Axie Infinity behind it went down. So this holding at just below 11 cents seems like it's been there forever. That's really interesting. Let's head over to Vestige, which also not like a ton of excitement. There's a new one called Gas that's pumping up, I guess. Another new one called AI Algocoin pumping up, which means those things are just going to crash. As a PayPay 2.0. I'm generally telling you, just don't waste your money on ASAs for the most part. Or, put like a small amount and just consider it gone. You know what I mean? Just put a tiny amount in that you can afford to lose. And these are really risky assets, okay? Like a small bet in Opulus probably would have paid off. It's doing pretty well. Maybe for DeFi token too. Chips, it's been at the top. People keep asking me to cover it, and I'm not really that into ASAs right now, so we'll see. And I'm not really that into casino games. It's kind of a bad. I feel like there's already this perception that all crypto is gambling. So to have a gambling thing on a crypto, Darmanet doing very well. Actually, it's a DeFi, Opulus, and Vestige all doing well in the week. Chips not so much. Same with Coop. Coop's been dropping. Gora's been dropping now again. Dharma up. Votecoin down. Actually, Yieldy had a pretty good week. I mean, it's still where it is, but And then Akita Inu is pumping again. I don't know what that's all about. But that's the meme coins. Like you said, we kind of talked about the trending and all that. And then, the other one that I was meaning to share that I forgot last week is Chain Trail, the top dApps. Zone still vastly leading the way with almost 25% of the activity on Algorand, followed by Fractal Monsters, which is still pretty solid at 13, a little over 13. Then Planet Watch, all know Planet Watch, those environmental sensors, which are they're really expensive. I thought about getting one, but they're pretty pricey, and it's a little bit. I just find the whole setup a little confusing. Then TravelX is up there now. They have 321,000 applications according to this. I'm not sure exactly what that means because most of them have like Zone has 5, Planet Watch has 4, but then Fractal Monsters has 900 some. So I don't know what the deal with that is, to be honest. Followed by Applied Blockchain, and then Hasab Pay, which we covered on the channel before, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, TravelX, I mean, that's nice to see up there. That is a company that is creating airline tickets as NFTs for at least one airline project, and be cool if I hope they add more. Just for fun, I haven't looked at this beforehand, so I don't know what this is going to bring up, but this is NFT sales. Yeah, see this, some of these don't really, this is just recent NFT sales. Let me go to marketplaces, see what that does. So it looks like Rand Gallery is leading the way in NFT sales by volume in terms of Algorand and dollars, followed by FIFA Plus, then AlgoX NFT, which I heard some people had a problem with. I don't remember all the ins and outs of that because I just don't. Honestly, I'm just not a big NFT guy. Whatever this one is, Unknown is in 4th place, followed by ExoMarket, which I met those guys at Decipher. They're pretty cool. Actually, I met the Rand Gallery guys as well. So there are some people who are, doing pretty good. So this is the top one, and their volume is 2,000. And I assume that's in a week, or is that a day? Interesting. I'd be curious. It's kind of weird that they don't actually explain that. It says volume in US dollars, but like what? They don't show you the NFTs sold or average NFT price, but yeah, it's very interesting. I just wish they showed you a little more. It seems like kind of a missing thing. Looks like we got some. What is the utility of DeFi token? That's a good question, Patrick. I have no idea. What is? I saw a meme that said, "How do you know if how do you know if a project should have a token?" It's like the answer is it just shouldn't. The Brando says, "Hi, welcome to the channel, Brando. Appreciate it." He says, "I love chips for the consistent LP awards. Just a long-term hold to cash out the rewards for house winnings at stake." That's cool. As long as you can consistently do it. See, the problem with the problem that I identified in my DeFi experiment is that when you have these LPs, the problem is they're usually a limited time, and so what happens if you're down while the LP ends, then you're stuck with this. You pretty much have to sell it or just hang on to it and hope a new one pops up. So, but if they have a consistent LP award that you can just do right through the platform, that is much better. And AI Art Master says, what I'm wondering is if ASA assets are so dead, then maybe that's the right time for me to buy them up when nobody cares about them. Yeah, maybe. Here's the thing about ASAs though, they go kaput all the time. So be really careful about which ones you're going to. Again, make small bets and consider that money just gone. I don't think it's a matter of them being dead right now versus not. It's a matter of them just generally having short shelf life. The projects disappear all the time. Projects go under all the time. Look what happened with AlgoStake just recently. I mean, I had in my experiment, I had $100 in that experiment, and it just got crushed. It ended up selling for $15, and it was up to 130 like the week before. All right, enough of that. Let's get to some news. Worldcoin. This is a crazy project that Sam Altman of OpenAI is releasing. The idea is that they're going to have these like shiny silver orbs, and I mean like actual orbs in real life, spread around different places, and then you will go scan your retina to qualify for airdrops and NFTs and other things. Seems a little creepy, right? Well, why don't we dig into this story, because I don't know what to do with this. Oops, wrong one. This is what the Substack looks like, though, so you should go check it out. WTF is Worldcoin hint? It's not just a crypto, says Akash. So he basically he says, "What this is really good. I want to read this." Says, "What TV show has got you hooked? For us, it's another dystopian episode of Black Mirror. In this episode, the world government is forcing people to scan their eyes to create a digital database of everyone's identity, which will be used to airdrop and restrict money in crypto." Oh wait, it's not an episode of Black Mirror. It's the most talked about. It's what the most talked about entrepreneur in the world wants to do right now. Oh gosh, yep, that is Sam. That's Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, which is, frankly, ChatGPT is awesome. But now, apparently, he wants to digitally identify, use this digital identity biometric system called Worldcoin, which apparently he's been working on for 4 years. Yeah, dystopian. Oh, come on now. So Worldcoin launched on July 24th, and in just 4 days, onboarded 2 million people. The world token, WLD, reached $250 million, distributed 1,500 orbs in 35 cities across 3 continents. So that's right, Worldcoin is a crypto project that uses iris scanning to verify users' identities. So basically, they're just going to scan your eye, and then you get crypto. Alvin's goal is to give humans the ability to prove to other humans that they're human, which kind of makes sense when you're the founder of an artificial intelligence program, that you would want people to be able to identify who's actually real versus an AI bot. So this is what, I'm not kidding, this is what they look like. It's a freaking orb, man. That's wild. That is just wild. And he put a whole bunch of these out already. So you scan your eyeballs, you get the world tokens. I just can't see that. They should have an R in there, right? So it looks like world. Anyway, creating digital identities called the World ID and registering them on the Worldcoin database. Like, this is some real World Economic Forum stuff. Like, I know it's him doing that, but it freaks me out, man. So Altman thinks it's going to be like a financial failsafe when AI takes over the world. So if you scan your eyeballs with this, you'll be able to basically get recurring grants, sort of like universal basic income. The token is supposed to incentivize people to sign up. I keep seeing the Admiral Akbar meme saying, "It's a trap, it's a trap." But this will allow you to receive grants, pay for services, make transactions, and participate in governance. Like, this is as bad as getting the chip in your head. I don't want that chip in my head either. So here's the price. So this author argues that it's volatile, but it's pretty much stayed between $2 and maybe a little under $2 and a little over $2.50. I don't think that's not that wild for a new crypto. So I know he says it's like volatile, but for like a brand new crypto, that's pretty par for the course from what I've seen. But there's some issues with the supply and distribution. I think this is what's worth digging into. So the total supply is fixed at 10 billion. So that's exactly what Algorand says. And right now, only 143 million wild tokens are circulating, but that's considering it just launched, that's not really that surprising. Let's see, of the 143 million, 43 million is allocated to users who have verified their identity. The rest is loaned to market makers who are based on the outside the US. Loans for 3 months. And after that time, market makers have the option of returning the loan amount or buying World at a fixed price of $2.80. So there's really no incentive for these market makers, the World makers liquid, which is really odd, right? So as our friend here at Grit Capital says, so after 3 months, market makers have no incentive to keep World makers liquid, and market makers, I assume you meant to say, or if the price is above 280, they'd rather buy the wild tokens at the fixed price of 280 and sell it for a quick profit. Either way, the holders of wild will face price uncertainty. Now, this is the big red flag. That's the big one. That's like just crazy. So like this thing's going to be worthless. I don't understand why you would do that. That's a weird way to provide liquidity, I think. So really interesting stuff. I think frankly that sounds like the opposite of what that's so centralized. That is like the opposite of decentralized, and it just sounds like a dystopian nightmare. Those orbs, I mean, come on, that is creepy. That is super creepy. Let's see, AI Master said still I didn't have too much in it. I had a lot of comments today. Hold on, I gotta like pull up my. Make sure this is. There we go. There I am. Just so I can see the chat here. We have a lot of stuff today. So AI Art Master talked about losing some money in bank. You know, I think I had a little bit of that too. I lost a little bit, but not a ton. Let's see, Jeffrey, welcome back, Jeffrey, says these eye scanning orbs are not a new thing, and there was at least one prior iteration of Worldcoin before the recent one. Well, was is the key word there, right, Jeffrey? I'm guessing that one didn't catch on either. Cara de Mono, what's happening, man? It says, how about they scan my middle finger? Yeah, me too. And Craig Wayne, what's up, my friend? He says, any thoughts on XYO? I don't know about that one. I'll look it up quick. Self-sovereign ecosystem for the cryptographic future. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to take a look at that one later on. We'll dive into that one at a future time. You know what I want to get into before we get into more news? I want to get into my Lofty review. So let me pull up my notes here. Okay, so a lot of you guys know I was a big fan of Lofty. I was in on it on day one. Lofty AI is, for those who don't know, I'm sure a lot of you do, Lofty AI is a real estate platform built on the Algorand blockchain where you can buy tokenized versions of real estate. So you're buying actual real estate, but you're buying a tokenized fraction of it. So you're buying $50 coin worth of real estate. The coin actually goes, the NFT/coin actually goes up or down in value with the value of the property, and you earn real rental payments with this program. So you actually get actual rent. It's like owning your own rental property, but you can do it in micro fractions, which is pretty cool. So not necessarily knocking that. And I was a big fan of it in the early days. It worked really, really well. I thought Lofty AI was great. Now I'm not so sure. Let me show you the problem. All right, so here's my Lofty portfolio. And you notice I have 21 properties. It was 22. We're going to talk about that in a second. It's very significant. And you might see the historical return and think, oh, 10%, that's pretty good. And then actually, it's not bad. Now, the real key metric to look at here is the rental yield. Look how many of these are zero. And I really just, a lot of them. So in case you're wondering, there are 13 properties not paying currently. Now that was 14, and what happened was one of the properties was actually sold. So the owners, everyone collectively voted, and they decided to sell the property. It was one of the ones that was making 0%, big goose egg, not making any money, and they sold it. So what did they sell it for? Well, it was like a little under 300,000, and my share of it for 2 tokens was about $57. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lofty AI tokens cost $50 a piece brand new. So, as you can understand, I lost quite a bit of money on that sale. But ultimately, I ended up with about a little over $100 in my account because I had some for other things. Besides that, the 57 basically put me over into like $110, something like that. So I thought about withdrawing it, but here's what I did instead. This one, oh no, I didn't. Sorry guys, I didn't share the screen. This one, this is the McDonald's property. It was what people call it. It's actually Domino's and US Cellular, and there's a real estate office in there as well. And this one pays 6%. Now you might think, oh, it's paying 6%. That's not that good. Except this is a triple net, and they have 4 long-term business tenants who McDonald's is there till 2026. Domino's has a lease till 2031, US Cellular till next year, so that's a little short. And the real estate one just moved in and signed a 3-year lease. So this is going to be paying a solid 6% for a long time. So now I have 3 of these tokens, and they're earning about 2.5 cents a day. And I think I'm going to end up getting more of those. But, wow, and I still shared the wrong screen. But this is the McDonald's token right here. But yeah, you can see that's a rarity. 6% might not seem a lot, but a lot of these have not been paying full rent. So very few of these are yielding more than that 6%. The only exceptions are this one in Illinois, Rock Island, and then this one here, the Miami Beach one. Here's another problem I have with Lofty. You see this little click here to sign the co-owner agreement? That problem, that has been an issue that I made Lofty aware of way back last November, maybe early December. I don't remember exactly which, but definitely late last year. And I was told, oh, we're going to work on we will be fixing on this. They have not touched this, okay? I believe this one on top was also doing that. So that one somehow got fixed. But I just tried to sign this yet again. I've signed these about 1 million times, and they just pop up every single time. Attention to details matters. They are not paying attention to these details. Even these new ones, these are earning 0%, okay? And those I bought pretty recently. Now they did earn rent at one point in time, so right now they are 0, which is why I'm starting to think this commercial one is just doing amazing. And I would like to see more of that. So that is my Lofty portfolio. So what's going on with some of these ones that are paying 0? Well, let's take this one right here, 18474 Glenmore Street in Redford, Michigan, okay? So I decided to dig in and comb through my emails and find out what was going on with this thing. Well, in this one, there was an eviction in April, which that explains a lot, which led to, and the tenant left things in really, really bad condition. The thing needs full paint, needs cleaning, multiple repairs from tenant neglect. They had to remove cars from the property, and they did use the $1,800 security deposit towards repairs, but there haven't been any updates since, and it has not been earning rent since then. So that really sucks. That's what's going on that one. Because I was just really curious, like, what is going on with these properties that they're just so many of them are not paying rent. So then we move on to this one down here, 3038, 3040 Sinclair Street in Memphis, Tennessee. I thought it was so cool, that property in Memphis, home of Elvis. Unfortunately, it had damage. So this one's really bad. It had damages to the sewer line that needed to be replaced. Eviction of one tenant in April. There wasn't a tenant approved that was supposed to move in July 12th. I don't know what happened, but there still hasn't been any rent for a long time. It did earn rent at some time, because you can see from total rent earned, there was a couple of them. And so I don't know what happened. July 12th, they were supposed to move in, so it's possible they're still replenishing the reserve. It's possible. I'm not 100% sure. And then one more is 9510 Silk Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. So I decided to look up that one and see what's going on with that one, because that struck me as odd. This one's really bad. Basically, the basement flooded, which did result in an insurance payout, but that caused a ton of damage, including a furnace replacement of the replacement of the entire furnace, which is really expensive. I don't know if you guys have ever had to replace a furnace. I fortunately have not yet, knock on wood. Why did it flood? Well, because the tenants that were there decided to have the gas service shut off in March without notifying anybody. Also, like, the property manager should have been paying attention to that. So fair enough. I definitely fault whoever was managing that property. Like, you should make sure. So they turned the gas off. Well, why does that matter? Well, because I don't know how many of you are in colder places, but in the winter, you need to have heat running to a building. Otherwise, your pipes freeze. And what happens after your pipes freeze is they burst. And when they burst, then water comes through and spreads out all over the house. So you just cannot. The only way you can do that is if you drain the pipes first, so the water doesn't freeze and burst the pipes. So I can kind of understand if you're moving out, you would probably cancel service. But I'm also really surprised that, like, a service company like this wouldn't just, like, say, hey, you have to have, if you're going to turn it off, someone else has to take it over. You would think that the service company would say, okay, gas, it's middle of March, like early March, where it's still really cold. Your tenant just turned this off, so you better have it turned back on. You would just think that would be built in, because anyone knows if you live in a place where there's snow and it gets really cold, you know that you just can't do that. So that's really frustrating. So that's all of that. Now, some of the other problems I have is just the functionality sometimes is just so difficult on Lofty. That's a big frustration. It worked so smoothly the first times I had that. When I first started using it over a year ago when they first launched, it was great. I thought it was awesome. But this is teaching me a lot about how rental properties work, some of the dangers involved, some of the stuff that can happen with tenants, just not only just not paying, but causing so much damage. One thing that happens a lot is, and I think it is supposed to be known as one of the easiest ways to deal with tenants who aren't paying, is simply give them cash for the keys. It'll get them out the door. You can turn your property around and start renting it again, instead of going through this whole long eviction process that takes forever. It's bad for them. It's bad for you. Just say, here's some money, just go find another place to live, and we'll just wash our hands of it. But I still think this has the platform itself has a lot of potential, but it really bothers me that something so small that they should be able to fix, going all the way back to late last year, and they haven't touched it. It's still a problem. And I did I did have a criticism that I didn't feel like they were giving enough indication. I still think that is a fair criticism. On their marketplace, they don't say when a property is cash flowing or not. You can if you go into the details, but they don't put that. I think that should be like in a little caveat right on the front page, but they do put it in there, so you definitely have to do a lot of research. And a lot of these properties will tell you, like, kind of give you a grade of what neighborhood it is in, and that's something you might want to pay attention to as well. But so going forward, I think with my Lofty experiment, I think I'm really going to focus on that McDonald's property, the one in Iowa, because 6% may not seem impressive compared to a lot of the other cash flows, but it's solid and it's paid 6% this entire time. So definitely something to keep in mind. I've actually made the decision to take Lofty off of my recommendations list that you see down below, where I put stuff where I think will be really helpful for you. I take that very seriously. I may add it back in if they get their stuff together a little bit more, but I don't like the platform right now. I don't like the interface. I think it was better before, and that's just the way of the world. Something works really well, and some engineer has to mess with it and make it bad. I think they had to change it to have the actual marketplace, but it's just a little frustrating the way it's set up right now. Oh, and when they sold the property and they sent instructions for if you had those property coins on your Lofty wallet, but not on the external wallet. But those were really old, so most people would probably have them on their regular wallet. And I told them, I asked on Discord just to double check that was correct. And yeah, the instructions are pretty much the same. You just have to like message them and tell them, hey, this was my, I just sent you these coins with this address, so please send me back the money, which they did. It went right into my account, and I bought the McDonald's properties again. So that was pretty smooth and painless. But I'm like, yeah, definitely send instructions for both, or just say like it's the same for both, or something. But that's my update on Lofty. I'd love to hear what you think, so leave it in the chat. Speaking of the chat, let's see what is going on with the chat. Let's see. Bobby Jonas, welcome to the show, says XDC will kill Ethereum. XDC is the real Ethereum killer. Well, we will see about that. What else we got? Lots on. The thing is, I might not be able to get to everything because we're going pretty late here. This one is really cool, though. So you guys know Algomint. Well, so Algomint, for those that don't know, it's a dApp on the Algorand blockchain that allows you to bring Bitcoin and ETH over to your Algorand wallet. It creates an ASA version of it, so you can go right on the platform, send your Bitcoin there, and it will send you a Go BTC version, which is an Algorand ASA version of Bitcoin. So you can have Bitcoin and Ethereum on your wallet. I did have that for a while. I've since moved my Bitcoin back because I think I want to have some flexibility when it's time to sell it, which I could do on Algorand as well, I suppose. But I've been buying a lot more Bitcoin lately, and I still have my ETH on there. I still have the Go ETH on my wallet, so you can actually hold that right on your Algorand wallet. Pretty cool. But this is really neat. Let's just look at this because Algomint is now going to be doing some buybacks. Let's take a look at this. Love to see this audience today, by the way, guys. This is really cool. A small but significant step for the Algomint platform as revenue begins to generate. We have initiated our first buyback of 204,794 Go Mint, LP'd with 887 Go USD. So they're doing some buybacks. More exciting with an X things to come. But here's what I like: as revenue begins to generate. Nice to see a platform actually generating revenue instead of losing it like a lot of them are. You see so many. We've seen so many closures. We've covered so many closures so far. So it's nice to see those pop up like that. How much is that about? Let's take a look at Vestige here. I just want to see what kind of buyback that is. Total market cap of 870,000. I can see why, because it's a good time, because they are like popping up like this. So it's worth about 0.005 Algorand, or I'm sorry, about 0.005 cents. It's about half a cent basically. So that would be 104. Is that about 1,000? I'm so bad at math. 1 cent. Yeah, that'd be about $1,000. So it's not like a significantly huge. In fact, actually, well, it's paired with 887 Go USD. So okay, my estimate was pretty close then. Right, because if it's 887, that means, yeah, at about half a cent, that's about right. Yep. So it's not like they're putting a giant amount of money in, but it's a little buyback. It's kind of cool. What's the total supply? Do they say that on here? It'd be cool if they added that here, because I don't see that anywhere. Yeah, TVL activity holders. I mean, we could work backwards. If it's half a cent, market cap was at 1.5 billion, something like that. My math is probably off. I try not to do public math, but yeah. Anyway, I think the reason, one of the reasons I think that's positive news is because it's nice to see a company doing something that indicates that revenue is positive versus negative, because we're seeing so much of the negative lately. It's cool to see a company that actually has something positive going on, which is something good we can report on. And it's a good sign. It means someone's actually doing halfway decent in Algorand, which I like to see. Let's see what else we got. Since we probably have some people that weren't watching the beginning, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, we got 6 likes, so let's get those. Let's try to get up to 10 likes. I think that'd be really cool if we can get up to 10 likes. And like I said, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'd appreciate that as well. Super chats are always appreciated as well, but not necessary, but always appreciated. Let's see what else we got. I think this one is cool. Also, FrugalBC.substack.com if you want to subscribe to our email newsletter. I only send it out once a week, so you won't get flooded with your inbox. Also, you can just watch it. If you don't want to get it emailed to you, you can just check it out in the Substack app, which is the way I read a lot of newsletters these days. So that is 100% free, FrugalBC.substack.com. Okay, so this new blistering report from Blockworks says that 75% of DeFi projects funded in 2021 have failed to deliver a viable project to mainnet. Now that's over 2 years, at least, or could be a little bit less. So that should be enough time to get a DeFi project close to mainnet, if not on mainnet, and the numbers get worse from there. Let's take a look at this. This in from Blockworks. Many crypto projects funded in 2021 still searching for success. Just 5% of crypto projects have gained product market fit since raising money in 2021, a new report finds, with many DeFi teams not even delivering offerings. Does that sound familiar, by the way? I think there's a lot of stuff in Algorand. I don't know about HBAR. I'm not deep enough to hear all the new stuff yet. I'm working on that. But I know Algorand, there's a lot of stuff that just kind of like didn't really deliver. A lot of gaming projects that we've been waiting on forever. So apparently there was a lot of funding in 2021. This is why they're looking at this. But Lattice, a crypto venture fund, found that a mere 5% of crypto projects had achieved product market fit within approximately 2 years of their fundraising efforts. The company's study involved an analysis of 780 publicly available crypto pre-seed and seed rounds that took place in 2021. The purpose of this investigation was to assess the influence of the $2.6 billion invested into these projects. So 2.6 billion went into 780, and only a teeny 5% of them found product market fit. So outside the, well, now this says that 70% managed to successfully launch a product on mainnet, but 20% either did not complete their product development or seem to have ceased operations, possibly shutting down. We've seen a lot of that in Algorand and just across the board too. Though certain types of crypto projects showed success after taking in funding, following through on initiatives was harder to come by for others. The report broke down the crypto sector in 4 categories: CeFi, DeFi, infrastructure, and consumer Web3. So this stuff is interesting. I want to drill down. I'm going to stick on this one a little longer because I think this is really interesting. Lattice found that nearly 90% of infrastructure projects delivered a product to mainnet, while less than 75% of DeFi projects did. So infrastructure stuff seemed to perform a lot better. That came despite DeFi seeing the second largest investment volume in 2021 of the 4 categories. That was 762 million as investors saw traction in the sector. The consumer Web3 segment gains $977 million of funding that year. The wrinkle, though, is that by 2021, it might have been too late. According to the report, we take the current top 10 DeFi tokens. If we take the current top 10 DeFi tokens by market cap, all of them were seeded in 2019 or earlier. So either too late or too early. Probably too late. I think they might have it nailed there. I think that's really an interesting story. It's really interesting because so much money was being poured into DeFi, and it just kind of led to somewhat lackluster results. I mean, you would expect, not that many of them to pay off. I mean, it would have been interesting to compare it to like standard venture funding, because venture capital in general just assumes that most projects are going to fail or do mediocre at best. You're really looking for the one unicorn or a couple outliers, particularly one unicorn, to make your whole investment worth it, 10, 20, 30x your investment or more, crazy percents. But to do that, you have to like lose a ton, so that's probably kind of what we're seeing here. So it's not really that surprising, to be honest. All right, Bobby Jonas says, can you make XDC videos? Well, I'll consider it. I'll take a look at it, I guess. We'll see. What's the main Bobby, let me ask you, you can leave it in the chat. What is the main selling point of XDC? Why do you like it? I would like you to leave that in the chat for me, okay? I want to see because you see this a lot in crypto where people just say, oh, this coin is the best. Well, tell me why. Tell me why you think it's the best. Why do you think it's an Ethereum killer? That'll be your homework while I go through another one. Okay, hold on. Oh, my voice goes. Yeah, we might go all the way to 8. I got a lot of stuff yet. So, who is that whale? Last time we unveiled that there was a huge whale buying up a bunch of Algorand, doing it in kind of a strange way. Just basically, it looked like it was dollar cost averaging, but in a very short amount of time. No one could figure out what's going on with this whale. It just seems so confusing. Well, a couple of internet detectives, some people that I'm familiar with, dug into the on-chain analysis, and I think they figured out who it is. So let's look at that and see what we can find here. This comes via macman.algo from on Twitter. It says the Algorand whale wallet is Upbit. How do we know from the Upbit users themselves? So let's see what he shared. This is the Upbit whale analysis. The Algorand whale wallet is Upbit. In case you're wondering, Upbit is South Korea's largest crypto exchange. So the whale wallet, they say, is part of the Tipper Ring. The Tipper Ring is a network operated by Upbit. And it's kind of cool because they just go down. The Tipper Ring is a set of 11 accounts that form the core of a network that feeds the whale wallet and outflows to external exchanges. Wallets is named after the address of its original account. The group of accounts was discussed by Crypto Farmer 1020 on Reddit C network between September 1st of 2020 and March 22nd of 2022. It appears that the Tipper Ring network exchange allowed users to attach on-chain text notes to withdrawal transactions. I looked at the notes field for all the transactions sent from the 11 Tipper Ring accounts. In this period, 2,727 notes were created, the vast majority in Korean. Because there is personal identifying information like names, email addresses, I am providing a sampling of the notes to give you an idea what they look like. As can be seen, these notes indicate that the originator was sending from Upbit. Upbit wallet withdrawal, Upbit Binance, Upbit to CoinList, etc., etc. In the full set of notes, there's a single exchange listed. The destination account is always a deposit wallet for the exchange. Furthermore, there are no notes that indicate that the origin is any exchange other than Upbit. Now, the whale wallet is part of the Tipper Ring now. The whale wallet N2C3, and I recognize that, and its predecessor, which is 7BZE, but I remember seeing the N2C3 one, are highly integrated with the Tipper Ring. In fact, the OG whale wallet and the original Tipper account were created together on August 31st, 2020 with a test transaction, etc., etc. But the OG whale wallet and the current whale wallet are the same wallet. It's also pretty clear the current whale wallet was created on February 13th, 2023 in the following sequence. OG wallet did the Genesis transaction to create the current whale wallet. The current whale wallet then immediately sends a test transaction to Tipper. OG flows its balance 243 million algo to the current whale wallet. And all the steps occurred within a 4-minute window. So that's a breakdown. He's going to go through the more of it. I don't think we need to dive into that, but let's look at. I want to look at some reactions to this because I think this is really interesting that people were able to piece this together and find out that it's a South Korean exchange. Michael Jordan, friend of the channel, a big promoter of Algorand, says, so the entire country of South Korea has been randomly buying up all the algo lately? This is incredible if true, even more exciting than a single whale wallet theory. Kind of interesting. I mean, it seems pretty solid, you know? If he's got the documentation there and that's what it's showing, it looks pretty solid that we know who the whale wallet is. It looks like it's coming from South Korean exchange Upbit. So I guess mystery solved now. Why is Upbit buying all that? I don't know. I don't think anyone said anything. It looked like there was some thoughts about whether Upbit, some debate about whether Upbit is or is not offering Algorand. Apparently, there was a day back in 2021 where Algorand went crazy, and that was because Upbit listed algo. So very, very interesting. It is still listing algo. So but why? There's still a lot of mystery about why they're all of a sudden buying up all this Algorand, and they've had apparently been running Algorand for a while. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but at least we know where it's coming from. I think that's really, I guess it's in some ways it kind of sucks to have the mystery over with, but it's good to know. I like digging to the bottom of things more. So alrighty. What do we got left? Okay, so this one's a big one. Self-custodial exchange C3 announced that Algorand is going to be the settlement layer of their platform that mixes a hybrid of on-chain and off-chain protocols to provide the maximum performance and security for its users. I think it's cool to have an exchange that is a hybrid of that is basically a self-custodial one, and that Algorand will be the base layer. So let's dig into this one. So this is C3. It's a technical overview of everything you need to know. It starts with the user, goes to off-chain server, to C3 for signature, then on-chain for the smart contract and funds. Basically, C3 is a self-custodial exchange that utilizes a hybrid architecture combining off-chain and on-chain components for maximum performance and security. The on-chain component handles instant trade processing and matching, while the on-chain component handles trade settlement. And that will be done by Algorand, by the way. This innovative hybrid architecture allows C3 to offer a trading platform that is both a performant and accessible, similar to traditional exchanges, while remaining trustless and non-custodial at all times. This is very intriguing to me. This means that C3 users can enjoy the security and autonomy of self-custodial exchange without compromising on the functionality, performance, and ease of use that they come to expect from traditional exchanges. That is really, really cool, and I am very excited about that, especially because this is where they're talking about the on-chain component. C3's on-chain, okay, leave that there. C3's on-chain component consists of two smart contract applications, the cross-collateral clearing engine and the health calculator, which are deployed on the Algorand blockchain and serve as the C3's settlement layer. And then they kind of have a little chart to kind of show how that works. So you have your off-chain components, and then the cross-collateral clearing engine, which involves trade settlements, deposits, withdrawals, borrows, lending pool, and the health calculator with the risk engine. And all that is happening on the Algorand blockchain. So this is the kind of stuff I get really excited about when the Algorand technology is deployed like this, and it's actually doing just kind of the boring but important stuff behind the scenes, which I really think is Algorand's strength. I think that's why there's a reason they chose Algorand and not another one. They probably could have done HBAR as well. I think Hedera could have handled that with their TPS. By the way, a little scuffle over the weekend about apparently there was a conference that Hedera held, and they were listing out Hedera's TPS at 10,000, and they had Algorand's listed at 1,000, which I had to call out because I'm like, come on, it's at 6,000, going to be 10,000 soon to match Hedera. And it's cool. I like both. I'm a big fan of HBAR. I'm a big fan of Algorand. But, I do want this stuff to be accurate. And so when they're putting this up at a conference like that and showing Algorand at 1,000, and it was like at the bottom end of all the other chains, I'm like, no, I can't allow that. Of course it's higher, because otherwise C3 would not be choosing Algorand if it was at 1,000. So I think that's a really important component to keep in mind. And I just couldn't let it stand. And that really blew up on Twitter, by the way. Let's see. Daniel Carrillo says, someone said on X, Twitter. By the way, X or Twitter, that's really messing me up, because I think I think I'm probably going to call it Twitter for a long time. I think a lot of people are. Someone said on Twitter X that they are putting a coin button. Wonder what coin will get chosen. Yeah. So there's a lot of people. Yeah, they are doing that, and there's been a lot of people pulling for Algorand. There's a lot of people that pointed out that the X logo looks very, very similar to the Algorand logo, and I could see Algorand would work perfectly for it. I think it'd be a great choice. I don't know if Elon will choose Algorand. He probably will choose Dogecoin because that's what he does, or something along those lines. But yeah, it'd be awesome if it was multi-chain and Algorand was on there. Maybe Algorand will be the settlement layer, or maybe HBAR. I could see that too. I like HBAR a lot. Let's see. You guys want some more yet? Let's do a Hedera. Well, it's going to take me a second to pull this one up. Meanwhile, how's everyone doing out there? Okay, so this was a huge Messari report came out. They do quarterly reports, and Cardano, Avalanche, and Ethereum led the way for L1s. Cardano led in L1s and quarter growth of TVL, DEX volume, and stablecoin market cap, which is really interesting. Meanwhile, Avalanche led the way in new addresses, active addresses, transaction growth, and new transaction fees. But of course, as you might have guessed, Ethereum is the overall king, dominating total market cap growth. But little old Hedera still coming in way behind all these other ones in the market cap. Hedera is just absolutely crushing it in terms of revenue growth. So let's take a look at the Messari report and what it says about Hedera's growth. By the way, I love these reports that Messari puts together. The author is named Peter Horton, who is a research analyst in protocol services, focuses on layer ones. Graduated from Boston College, studied economics and computer science, and led the school's blockchain club. Well, that's a perfect guy to write this report, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, Avalanche led layer ones and quarter-over-quarter revenue growth. Blah, blah, blah. But Hedera's revenue increased 99% quarter-over-quarter and 3,315% year-over-year, driven by an increase in the usage of its consensus service. What does that do? Well, that enables the verifiable timestamping and ordering events for Web 2 and Web 3 applications. That's a big deal, especially that it applies to Web 2. And I think that is one of the reasons why so many of these traditional, Web 2 companies or Web 1 even, or whatever you call IBM, Google's involved, Boeing is involved. Just companies that you wouldn't normally associate with blockchains are all on the governing body, and I think that's why. So Hedera doesn't appear on here. I just wanted to see if there was anything more. I think it might have been on the above one. Yeah, okay. The Hedera is in white, and you can see this big line up. That's nice to see. Unless that's the other. I don't think that's the other. I mean, they kind of used white and gray, but yeah, that's definitely white. So it's actually dropped a little bit, but then it really spiked up a lot. It's really good to see that strong growth with Hedera, and it's growth compared to all the other coins. I mean, it's just leading the way, right? So quarter-over-quarter growth was led by AVAX, but just in the last year, I mean, Hedera is way up. It was really cool to see. So I know I talk a lot about Algorand. I also really love Hedera HBAR. I like what they're doing. And like I said, it makes me really bullish on HBAR to see the commitment from these larger companies like Boeing, Google, IBM. Dell just jumped on board. I don't know if you guys know, but Dell is like, they really run a lot of the infrastructure of the internet. Now, I always thought of Dell from the computers back in the 90s. They were really, really hitting the personal computer market hard. You know, dude, you got a Dell. That was the big advertisement. But now it's this. Now they're actually doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff on the internet, a lot of the infrastructure stuff that you and I probably don't think of when we're surfing the web. And they're all on board on Hedera. I think something about that ordering and the consensus is just really, really important and something that actually solves a real world problem for a lot of these companies. And I think that's why Hedera is so huge. So good for Hedera. Daniel Carrillo says it's really extremely hot in Texas. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. I am like on the opposite end of, or opposite side. And Yana Ital. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that. Or is it Lana? Actually, it looks like Yana. Yana Ital, welcome to the show. It says, did Algorand get replaced by Polygon for the Bank of Italy public banking chain? Actually, funny that you mentioned that. That is our next segment, and where we're going to kind of close the show today. So why don't we look at that? So the answer is kind of, well, Bank of Italy has chosen Polygon Labs and crypto infrastructure provider Fireblocks to work on implementing token and DeFi experiments at the bank. So now what I wrote in my edition is that this might come as a surprise to some Algorand holders who saw news earlier that Italy insurance settlers chose Algorand for this feature. So what's going on? Well, let us look at this news report. Oops, there we go. Italy's central bank taps Polygon and Fireblocks DeFi project to help institutions dabble with tokenized assets. The initiative aims to help Italian banks, asset managers, and financial institutions, including the $1 trillion banking group Intesa Sanpaolo, experiment with decentralized finance and security tokens. This comes from Bank of Italy's Innovation Hub, which picked a decentralized finance project involving Ethereum scaling network by Polygon Labs and crypto infrastructure provider Fireblocks to help financial institutions dabble with DeFi and tokenized assets. The Milano Hub, the Italian Central Bank's Center for Developing Innovative Ideas in Finance, will support the development of the so-called institutional DeFi for security token ecosystem for 6 months, the press release said. The platform aims to help traditional financial institutions to experiment with security tokens and execute transactions using DeFi rails in a safe, regulated manner. So a lot of people asked, what does that mean for Algorand? Because, I swear I don't know. Because a lot of people thought that Algorand was going to be doing this, and they associated Algorand with Italy. Well, buying time while I dig something up. This is probably what you're thinking of. Algorand rises after Italy selects blockchain protocol for digital guarantees platform. The blockchain protocol algo is up 3% on Tuesday as the layer 1 technology was selected to be the blockchain to support digital guarantees platform on Italy. Now that's a little bit different. Algorand joined the Bank of Italy and the Italian Insurance Authority at an event hosted by the Research Center for Technologies, Innovations, and Finance in Milan on Tuesday to demonstrate how bank and insurance guarantees can be issued on this blockchain, according to a statement. A bank guarantee is a type of financial backstop that's offered by a lending institution where the lender ensures the liabilities of a debtor will be met. So, to answer the question, it's hard to say because it sounds like this is a different function than just what they're doing by tokenizing assets. It sounds like this is the digital backstopping for guarantees that Algorand was supposed to be doing. Now, we haven't heard anything about that since. Like a lot of these news stories, they get popped up and then you just don't hear anything after that. So, is it being replaced? Well, I don't think so, but maybe it's possible. But I think they're actually separate things. But that's probably what you're thinking about. So, we'll just have to keep an eye on this and see what happens with this going forward. Because I'm not really sure. I know it makes people a little nervous to see that because you think, well, I thought Algorand was doing this with the Italian bank. But in this case, I think it had to do with like insurance backstops and collateralization. So, all right. Iana says, thanks for addressing. Yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate that. Patrick says the Algorand Foundation would surely know. Yeah, I think they would as well. But I doubt they would broadcast that, right? I'm going to have to poke around and a little more and see how that goes. Yeah, got some hearty face there. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, I think that's all I got today. My voice is dying. I'm just amazed. There's some people I can go for like 5 hours. I don't know how they do it. I'm good for hour and a half tops, I think, and my voice just dies. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it if you do that. I'd like to get those likes up. We got to, what did we get to? 9. Come on, we're 1 away from 10. Someone please hit the like button just so we can get to 10. We got to get to 10. I think that's it. There we go. Hey, we did it. Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. Woohoo! Very cool. I appreciate that. If any of you guys, if you hadn't subscribed already, I'd really love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Appreciate that. Like I said, you don't have to smash it. Just press it gently. Let's see, what else? Oh, and also too, FrugalBC.substack.algo. I'm sorry, FrugalBC.substack.com. You can get all of this stuff a day early in your inbox. And then before I talk about it on the channel, which gives you a little, I got to celebrate those little victories. That's right. Thanks, Patrick. FrugalBC.substack.com. Sign up for free. You can get this news a day early before on live stream. They can come to the live stream and see it enacted out, which I think is pretty cool. So I appreciate that. And yep, that's about it for today. So thanks so much for everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it. Stay safe out there. And guys, make sure get your finances in order. Like, I know we talk a lot about crypto, and crypto is really, really fun, but make sure you're paying your bills. Make sure you're getting a decent emergency fund and some. I really think you should have some index funds put away somewhere. I know it's really boring, but if you just put a little bit into index funds every paycheck or every week or whatever makes sense for you, you're going to be really happy with how that grows in the background. And then you got your responsible side, and then you got your fun crypto side. So that's what I recommend. Not financial advice. I'm not going to tell you which ones to get into, but I'm a big fan of index funds, and that's coming from a crypto YouTuber. I got links down for Wealthfront down below, which is a great way to get started with index funds. And they do tax loss harvesting as well, so I really like that. I got Ledger down below as well. That's really good for keeping your assets safe. Otherwise, guys, stay safe out there. I'm FrugalBC, and I will see you